What if someone you care and love the most, someone who is assigned to protecting you, mysteriously attacks, rapes, and ruins the rest of your life? Would you ever forgive them? Faith was abused, taking her innocence away by her father, ruining her life. She's been on a journey to heal from her past traumas. We take a long journey and visit this woman who shares her painful life story.
Majina naitwa Faith Karambu na najulikana kwa social media kama na Faiza Karaz. Yeah, I'm a widow.
Faith Karambu is a 38-year-old mother to 4 children and 1 grandchild. She was born in a poor family, and the family was always having drama.
1989 wakakuwa na mivurugano tu ya familia after she gave birth to our younger sister.
My father wanted a boy, but my mother gave birth to a baby girl. And that became a big problem that resulted into a divorce. And we had to be raised by our grandfather from 1991 up to 1996. And we were okay with living with our grandfather.
And 1996, 95.
Her mother always treated them better like no one else, doing everything she could as a single mother for them to have a better life, until when she fell in love.
Lakini wakati alianza kudate, hapo ndio maisha yetu iliharibika.
Our life started becoming miserable when mom fell in love. She wanted a man to help her in raising us. And after the divorce, we shifted from the city to the village with our mother. And life in the village was totally different to a life we had lived. Her childhood in general wasn't good. And in order to raise her children, the mother brought in another man whom Faith never liked at first sight.
Our stepdad alianza kutumistreat. Mimi kwanza ujumi ndiye nilikuwa mkubwa, sikumuacknowledge.
This man never loved me, and so did I. But he used to bring us some snacks after work and could give others and make sure they eat all what he brought when I was just seated watching them enjoy, so as to make me jealous. One day, I was sent off from school for a mathematics notebook. My mother always woke up early and went to the market and returned in the evening. By when they chased me and I returned home, my stepfather asked why I returned earlier before lunch, and I explained. And he started flogging me, closed the gates, and chased me away. I then went to my mother at the market, who sent me to my dad. And that was a very long journey and a difficult one, since I had not eaten anything for the whole day. She was left with no other choice apart from covering a 40 to 50 kilometer journey that takes at least an hour for a person in a vehicle. It was difficult, but she did, and reached there when she was too exhausted, and found when the dad had married another wife. But luckily for her, the stepmother gave her a warm welcome.
So nikapata huyo bibi yake na alikuwa na mimba. Akanikaribisha vizuri, akanipea kahawa.
My father came from work around 6 p.m. and was happy seeing me. He called the neighbors and celebrated my return. It had been a very long time without seeing each other, and a lot had happened. I had around 11 years old.
Nikamwambia mimi nilifukuzwa shule na mama ako na baba mwingine. Na huyu baba mwingine ameniambia niende nitafute baba yangu.
The next day, I explained why I was chased from class. The dad asked if I would choose books and go back to living with my mother, or else stay there and change the school. And due to the warm welcome I got, it was obvious I had to remain.
Mama hakuwa ananitreat vizuri kabisa. Tangu apatane na huyo mwanaume, unajua anataka kuimpress huyu boyfriend.
The next Monday, they went shopping, bought books, pens, pencils, and all school materials, plus a beautiful backpack, which was better than all of other pupils. She went back to school and studied and enjoyed life again. But this never lasted, as during her 3rd term, life then changed upside down. My mother-in-law was pregnant, and my father developed some strange behaviors. He would prepare my breakfast and organize everything. And after taking shower, he would start caressing me, and I had never experienced such a thing, leaving me shocked. The mother was too busy to give us morals and more of how to live in the society, and we behaved anyhow.
Okay, tukalala asubuhi, tukaamka, akaniuliza sasa unataka aje?
The dad started caressing me but did nothing and could let me go to school until when I was in senior 6. Second term when he came and raped me. And to be honest, it was painful. I felt too much pain and anger, and I never went to school that day. Faith spent the whole week in too much pain and was warned not to tell anyone what had happened. And since he was the only person she loved and was assigned to protect her as a parent, it was difficult. Had it been someone else, she would have reported them to her father. After recovering, she went back to school. But on her return, she found when the dad had sold and burned her school materials from books up to her backpack.
Akanipeleka shule nikarudi to class 5.
My dad took away everything from me, my life and my future. At some point, I wondered whether he was really my father biologically, or maybe he just found my mom pregnant and agreed to live with her. I started questioning myself, wondering why I even opted to return despite the fact that I was not treated fairly. But no one had sexually assaulted me before, and it's a pity that it was done by my so-called father.
But sasa vile tukienda term 3 akaanzanga ndio saa.
After selling all my school materials, books and uniform, that's when I realized I won't go to school again. I could join fellow children playing, but never felt the same joy and happiness as I felt before. Time came, her aunt visited them, and upon returning home, she cried and wanted to go and live with her, escaping the father and maybe hoping that she would be given a chance to go to school. But after reaching there, her aunt's children attended schools regularly, and she remained at home taking care of them and ended up becoming their maid. All she did was showing me a piece of land which I cultivated daily. My aunt, whom I hoped would be solace, turned out to be worse than I thought. She could buy clothes of her children and exclude me. And after a year, I met a person who knew me and took me back to my father, hoping he'll forgive me and allow me to go back to school. She took a long journey and she never knew what happened next. She woke up when she was shaved, no hair, and found herself at the hospital and was told that she had a car accident. And from there, she's been having mental disorders, but thank God, she always takes some medications. After the accident, those who knocked her down were taken to court and had to pay a certain amount of money, compensation, which was paid, but her mother used all that money for her own benefit and bought a piece of land and invested in her business. At 15, I moved to Nairobi and a man impregnated me and later took my firstborn with him. I met my boy after 16 years, but he's okay and he's living with his father. Time went by and I met a man, got married, and God blessed me with 4 children. She has been on a journey to heal from her past, but it has taken too long that up to this day, the healing process continues. Her father died in 2019, whereas the mother died in a car accident in 2017. My husband died in 2018. As a widow, it's difficult to take care of children alone, and in 2020, the COVID-19 outbreak made life even more difficult, and I never got time and money to follow up his accident's case. Faith has been through a lot that at some point, it's difficult to understand what she went through. Right now, she's praying, asking God to help the younger generation that no one faces what she went through. The mother is struggling to survive and raise her children. When given capital, a small business would be established and would help her sustain the family. Donate on the Giving Life's link found in description and pinned in top comment. Thank you for watching. I'm Elijah and this is Afrimax English. Remember to subscribe.